Hello everyone, this is G-Shock High Fashion Channel. Today I'm going to share with you again with another G-Shock vintage models. As always, before I get started with all this vintage timepiece I got over here, we're gonna have a look at the history, the thing about this model. You gotta need to know the background story of this. What's so special about this? So you could know that by looking at this G-Shock perfect bubble over here. This one is the 2011 version. You could find the 2007 version, 2003 if I'm not mistaken, and you could also get the 2013 version, which is more updated, but this is good enough in my case. So this G-Shock over here was released in the year 2001, which is over here. So all of these photos that you saw right now is a G-Shock that was released in the year 2001. I already covered some of these models though, just in case you were wondering. I already covered this one as well if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, let's go to the next page and we're gonna have a look at this guy down here. Let's have a closer look. G-3000-1JF. If you look next to it, you're gonna have another one which is in a blue colorway. So they released two colorway in the same series. However, we're gonna just have a look at this guy over here. Let's have a look. G-3000-1JF Duplex LC display Zaigono block. This is the DLC or duplex display, aka the dual display, which I already covered before, which is on this guy on the channel. So if you missed this video, go check this one out. GL150TC. So this will be similar to this, however this one was released way earlier, this one in 2002. So what else on this piece? It was released on November on that year 2001, and it operates on 2453 module, and the retail price is only 14,000 yen. This blue one only 12,000 yen though, which slightly cheaper, but just based on your preference though. The module is still the same, just color preferences. You're gonna change your budget as well. Okay, down on the some of the introduction. Now let's have a look close to the watch. This is the G-Shock. I bought this one in a used condition, and it didn't came with any papers or box at all, but it is fine because when we're talking about vintage G-Shock, there's like 99% of the time it is legit. You don't have to worry you're gonna get fake G-Shock today, you know, so it's pretty safe, but still keep your guard up all the time, you know. Anyway, let's have a look on the profile. From the sides, we're gonna have a look like simple 2 buttons and 1 screws on it over here. Same goes on another side. Look at that, simple things. And the watch face is the most interesting part, or the main selling point of this model. What's so special about this compared to all other G-Shock we got back here, you know? So I mean, except for this, because these just are similar things. This guy has duplex display again, and it also have this data memory down here. Let's zoom in a little for you guys to see better. And other than that, it's just simple model. So let's go through the functions real quick. Day, date, and also time at home time. As you guys can see now, positive and negative display at the same time. I'll get to that after. First mode, we're gonna have a look at telememo. So this is where you can store all the telephone numbers. I don't see this useful today, but back in the year 2001, I believe this thing is pretty popular, and you could store up to 30 units of information as well, which is pretty neat. Name up to 8 letters. This will be all the numbers only. Alright, let's go to the next mode. We're gonna have a look at the alarm. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, snooze and signal alarm. At the same time, you can still view current local time as well, where you are operating all the functions. Press mode here, we're gonna go to stopwatch, and then we're gonna have a timer, countdown timer, and dual time, which is special as well. So local time over here, up here will be for dual time. Look at that, you can add every 30 minutes of increment to time, but it didn't state any specific country at all. You kind of need to know it on your own and just set it up in advance and just view it whenever you want to. Press mode, and we will go back to home time. Alright, down on the basic things, data memory, and if you're interested to learn more, go check the module video, which I'll be releasing afterwards. So I will cover on the engine, how to operate, setup, and all that in that video. For now, we're gonna have a look at the watch only, the profile. Look at that, it looks pretty thick, it looks very streamlined. Look at that all the way. Wait, I need to focus on this. The watch band goes all the way up, continuing with the bezel, and go down over here. If you look at it from the front, it looks like a singular type of bezel, just built in here, not like a regular G-Shock we got today. Look at that. You can kind of be able to tell the difference between the bezel and the watch band. In this piece, however, full watch band or bezel. But anyway, if you look close enough, such as over here, you can still see a line. So that is the gap or the cutting point to differentiate which is the bezel and which is the watch band. I mean, most vintage G-Shock tend to look like this, more streamlined, more curvy. It is like a trending thing back in the days. For today's standard, however, we prefer something like this, more rugged looking G-Shock. Look at that arrangement, or something like this. Even this thing is curvy, they still have slightly rugged appearance in them, and also basic version like this one. So let's put all this G-Shock back on. Where's it belong? Just place it in there, you know. Look at that. Alright, down over here, let's go back to this vintage timepiece. If you look in the middle here, we have G button in gray with huge button guard. So you press it and it will turn on the EL in just 2 seconds after glow, but that's pretty much it. You cannot change the duration at all, but it's bright enough. And if you notice, each time I press this light button, it will change the display to positive instead. Look at that. So this will allow you to tell the time, all this information that you need better in the dark room or at night time. Small little details, but really neat thing to have in here. And of course, if you press the lower button over here, you can change to 24-hour time system format if you want to do so as well. Everything is in resin except for this metal part up here. This, of course, metal, and I wish they just made this part in black. That will make this watch looks way cooler. I mean, they did make it in dark color like the one or the blue version though, but man, they're using silver, but it's all fine. If this thing is black, it will look way more badass in my opinion. But just me, red and black color combination all around. Now let's actually move on to the watch band over here. So some holes which is shaped uniquely as well, rail shape. Look at that, and we're gonna have a slightly bulged at the tip here for band keeper stopper, I believe. Since this one in a used condition, you're gonna be able to see all the scratches or use marks, but it's all fine. I got this in not a pretty cheap but not expensive as well, but since I haven't covered this yet on the channel, I think I should share this one with you guys, just in case you found this in any store you visit or even on eBay or Yahoo Japan auction. Probably consider getting one of these as well. This is not a very popular model at all today especially, but it is a neat thing as well to have, especially if you're a big fan of G-Shock or just vintage G-Shock in general. And here it is. This is the watch band keeper, shaped uniquely as well, different from regular models. Look at that over there. And this will be the buckle by Casio Japan. So neat thing to have. Casio Japan sign buckle is also a very nice thing, especially if you are planning to get this for souvenirs or to bring back to your home country whenever you come to visit to Japan. Everybody loves things that have Japan sign or engraved on the items, you know. You gotta admit that. And look at the back plate over here. It even states that this one have stainless steel back Japan back plate, so fully made in Japan. That is a neat thing to take note as well. Again, 2453 G-3000 model, so shock absorber structure, and of course 20 bar or 200 meter water resistant. Very tough model. And again, as you guys could see the shape over here, they actually lock it down. Look at that, the watch band locked or combined with the bezel case, and they also have been screwed down together. So this two part not gonna come up anytime soon except you break them, because they're just plastic. They are easily breakable, especially over time today. I probably rotten a little bit. I can feel this watch band slightly sticky feels on it. I'm not sure how to clean this thing up yet, but I tried to remove this with soap, just a regular soap, but yeah, it's still sticky, and this is the sign of a watch is currently rotting. Well, that's happened over time, can't complain much, but still looking fine except for the scratches, as you guys can see now. Let's bring back the focus over here. Look at that, look at that horrible scratch. I have no idea how it got there. And if you look at the watch band as well, they are curved inwards for better grip and better fit, better feels when you wear it. It feels very comfortable, although the watch band feels stiff, which kind of not as comfortable as it may seems, but yeah, still neat thing, or I could say it is comfortable rather than other models that we got today. But anyway, down on the watch band and bezel, let's go back into the watch face. Let's Let me zoom in a little bit to show you guys better what I mean. This one over here is the default display. If you don't like this one, you can change it just for fun. I'm not sure what the main purpose of this, except for just showing off that they could make a watch with multiple layer of display. We'll get to this. Here is COL. COL stands for color, so you can toggle between the change in display in this one with these two buttons over here. Before I even do anything, you guys can see that there's a slightly difference between this display and this display. Look at that. This blinking display over here actually float a little bit above this display. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but although if you look at it in person, you guys can see that. Look at that. The display, the darkness, the clarity, it looks different from this one and this one and even this one. Alright, if I press this lower right button over here, you can see that now. Look at that. So a red display just light on. This red display over here is placed above the black display. So that's why you're seeing like more like an outline, because the red is slightly above the black. If you look at an angle, you can see that. Look at that, the red and the black is down there. If you want a red display with match with this one, you can use this type of display if you want to do so. But if you don't like this one, you can keep pressing mode and it will change to all positive. But this one is positive, but the display is above, not the lower display as before. Look at that. This one is below bottom display, or below layer, bottom layer display. The time in the middle here is upper layer display, similar layer as the COL. When I press mode after this, you will see that this display will like lower or move to the bottom layer display. Look at that. In 3, 2, 1, bam. Look at that. Slightly move down. So now this is the default display, the standard display that we got today. Lower layer, similar to this, all positive, just in case you want to have a better look, or you don't want to get all those fancy black anyway. You want to use the function, just standard, normal thing, just use this type of display. If you want something fancy, keep pressing this lower right button down here and bam. Positive all around, but with red display. You can do that as well. Right, if I press this lower right button now, you will see that it will go to negative back, but the display up here is placed at the upper layer instead of lower layer. If I press this button again, it will go down, bam, to the default display that we originally came with. So altogether, we're gonna have a look at 6 types of display. Let me go through all of them real fast so you guys could see all the difference better. Look at that. There is all the display that you could have in this model. However, let's use this one for example. Press just. Alright, let's say you want to use this type of display. If you press, like you're going through the functions and all that, everything will appear the similar type of display. Look at that. Look at that. And go to real time, and when you go back to on time, still remain the same though. There it is. There it is. If I press the light button, it will go to positive, just as before, and simple things. If I want to reset this, I believe I just need to press mode and hold it and go back to on time and go all over again, and there it is, back to original setting, default display. And that sums up all the engine, the details, the build on this model. However, let's have a look on the fitting. How this thing gonna fit or appear when you wear it on your wrist. Let me remove this magazine though, this is bothering with the focus. Let's wear it 3 over here. Really, it's already giving me a really nice fit just from the host 3 from the top here. Look at that, nicely fit. I mean, I already covered plenty of vintage G-Shock before. Most of them are curvy like this, and when the watch is curvy and the watch band is pointing downwards, they're definitely gonna give you guys a really nice fit. It doesn't matter how big or small your wrist size is, unless you're a kid. So anyway, look at that, nicely done. It's not as thick as you would imagine, although it is not as rugged and not as attractive to most collectors today. I mean, we tend to have our eyes to have a look at these models instead of this. But just in case, I mean, all these are expensive though. If you look at this used today, you're gonna save a lot of money, and you're still gonna get the toughness of a G-Shock. And again, look at the time display over there. It's very thick and wide. You can tell the time even from a distance. Comparing this though, look at that. Look at how wide and thick the display is. This one is way better than this, although this one is built for different purposes. All this built for different purposes. This one, however, just to tell the time and play around with the colorway to match with the watch band and bezel based on your preferences though. Anyway, fit very nice. The weights aren't that heavy at all. Alright, how much this thing gonna weigh you? There it is. 67 grams. I believe this is similar to the standard DW1600 series weight, so if you own those, you probably have a rough idea already how this thing gonna feels on your wrist. Look at it, it is like 45 millimeters, but it is actually aren't that big at all. The sizing, I mean, it's weird. The sizing of a G-Shock is weird. You cannot compare the sizing of G-Shock to standard Swiss steel watches at all. Slight difference in sizing really gonna give you guys a huge difference to the appearance. However, in case of a G-Shock, such now, look at that, it is now at 43 millimeters. I just measured over here at 45. This one is 43. It is so irregular in shape. And for the thickness, however, it is only about 15 millimeters. And yeah, that sums up. The watch band is very weird. I cannot measure it. Look at that. However, I can still measure over here at about 21 millimeters. The shape is totally art. Even though I measured this, like here it's like 24, 25 millimeters. You cannot find a replacement watch band for this model at all out there. To sum everything up, I think this thing is neat. It fits to the price, only 14,000 yen, so not as expensive at that time as well. And it offers a lot of functions and a unique features to play around whenever you're bored. You know, just in case you want to match the display with your shirt and all that, you can change to red and black. That's all up to you. The price is not expensive today, so you can't complain much at all. And I hope you guys found this video a little bit useful, informative, and entertaining as well for your future reference. Just in case you find any one of these in the market today, consider grabbing them though, because they're worth it. They're worth it as a gift, a better watch or whatever. That's all guys. Thank you very much for watching. This is G-Shock Hyperson channel, and